So the lawyers going after Sean Combs, P. Diddy, are in the middle of a news conference, and there's like 3,000 victims, and they expect more. And there are names that will shock people, is what they said. So it's widespread. It's gone on for 30 years. And they're even going to go after the people that looked the other way or cheered it on, but looked the other way. I've said for a few years now that ultimately, because whether people want to believe in God or not, go be stupid and don't. But Revelations was all about revealing of all of the disgust. All lies will be revealed. And I thought about this several years ago, and I thought that's what it's going to ultimately come down to, is that everyone gets exposed. And I don't just mean that have hurt, that have raped people, but people that have looked away from corruption, people that think that they will, and I'm saying this to my industry, I'm saying this to my professional organizations. Well, I'm not in any of your organizations because you're garbage. But you leaders in nursing, you CNOs in nursing, that look away from what you know you shouldn't look away from. What you disregard, you are part of the problem with the system. And I'm going to say right now, because of because of this rape stuff, because the youngest victim in the P. Diddy stuff was 9. Yet we have a mental health. I work in a mental health hospital. We're not helping people because it's all about profit. And we have a chief nursing officer that likes to cause harm. I mean, I don't know, maybe she doesn't like to, but she seems to think that it's okay for her to do the most disgusting things, like overwhelm nurses and cause stress, all because of her political ideology. So I will not put up with that anymore. If I go to work and I do not feel safe, if you are going to try to put more patients on me than can be managed, when really we're not helping anybody, I will walk off the job. I will walk off in the middle of my shift. I will pick up my belongings and be gone. I am done running around the nursing professional organizations and their bullshit for trying to keep nurses in situations that are unsafe. It is because of professional organizations that victims don't get the help that they need. Because those very professional organizations, as I know, because I'm not a victim of violence, but I experienced how corrupt they are, how they will not do the right thing. They will do everything wrong. And if you're a nurse and you want to stay in your particular nursing association, then go ahead. But just realize, it's not like they stand on the side of patients. I work in a place that all they care about is profit. And do you know how many people, adolescents and adults, that likely have trauma from rape? I'm not saying it's rape from P. Diddy, but have rape in their history, and we don't even have time to help any of them. There's no longer care. There's no longer humanity. And it's because of the very leadership in nursing that is a complete disgrace in this country. Because you'll go along with corporate. And that's part of the problem too, this lawyer said, is that the corporate world and their corruption. So I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. I come across so many victims clearly as a psych nurse of people that have been raped, have been abused, whether it's in their childhood or it's recent, and we can't help them. We can if we have time to listen. But when you have chief nursing officers in corporate that only care about the money and just keep piling people on to a nurse, there's no time for us to sit and listen to patients. And many times that's what patients want the most, especially victims, is just to be heard. Then what ends up happening when they're not heard, when nurses are too busy because we're just running every which way and pulling our hair out, because of leadership. That's what has failed completely in this country, is every leadership at all of these at the biggest levels, is that those victims go on to never get help. Then we have a revolving door in mental health. And anybody that is a nurse in mental health, ask yourself, you may think you're helping people. And at some hospitals, I've worked at some hospitals that are better than others, okay? Where there were psychiatrists that were better, much more caring and involved. And, there is some good ones. There really is. But everybody starts to move towards this path that it's more about money. And because of that, we're not helping people. That is not the kind of mental health nurse I've ever wanted to be. Yet I have watched in 13 years it move more to the place being about money, and then there's nobody we're helping. So if you are a chief nursing officer in this country heading up mental health, and you're just going to be a sellout to corporate, then please hang up your license of nursing, because you no longer serve patients. You no longer serve the vulnerable. You can lie to yourself and tell yourself all the excuses you want. You can have all the town hall meetings you want and sit there and convince your staff that you really have their backs and you'll try to do it differently, or whatever excuses you want to make. But at the end of the day, how you lay your head down on your pillow at night and not feel like a total corrupt nurse is beyond me. But you sold out. You look the other way, you do what is wrong, and that seems to be the problem with so many in our society. And what happens because of you people. And let me say this, to some extent we've all done it. At some point along the way in your career, because money is the root of all evil. At some point in your career, everybody has looked the other way when they know they shouldn't have. And it bothers you. And when you do that, and maybe it's something minor, but it bothers you enough to where you say, no, I'm never doing this again. But then you realize that when you speak up, you're not going to be supported. You're going to be attacked. Whether you're a victim of rape or whether you're standing up for what is right, this world doesn't like it. And we have associations, we have corporations that all serve to protect disgusting acts, they use disgusting reasons for why they won't do the right thing. And in healthcare, that it's even worse, because they try to use nursing in certain ways so that it prevents you. No, we must do it this way, even though logically what they come up with doesn't make sense. Now, think about it. For the past 30 years, this went on with just P. Diddy and all these other people that are going to get exposed in the next 30 days, this lawyer said. And yet, what is the nursing profession doing? Focusing on health equity, causing division. Yeah, diversity, which is just them causing division. They supported things they know scientifically they shouldn't have, like gender-affirming care on youth, completely irresponsible, against science in every way. They have, to this day, none of them will backtrack off of that. But what those organizations have done is to place these association nurses in chief nursing officers' roles, many who don't even have any experience in mental health at all. And that is a disgrace to somebody like it. That's a disgrace. Because I'm a nurse that does care about mental health, because it matters. It matters. And we don't need these garbage chief nursing officers out of your emergency nurses association or any of you associations of nursing getting involved and making everything worse because you're so politically sickening. This world is a mess. And it has been for a long time. And it's time that the mental health systems start actually caring more about helping mental health patients. And if that means these corporate jackasses need to be dealt with in some legal way, then they need to be dealt with. But if we do not get back to a place where we put doing the right thing first, then believe me, where this country will fall to is, well, frankly, the depths of hell is where it will go. Not chance.